admit to being terrified to read a book about LA to a crowd in LA, but I'm just gonna go with it. After Florence was born, Elsa made herself a promise. She would do just what Irving Green had told her, and fast. Gordon bristled at first, but then decided it was better for him to have a wife with a shapely figure and let it go. There were exercise classes at the studio, dance, tap, calisthenics. Elsa dropped the girls off with on-lot childcare and went 5 times a week at 9. At first, Clara cried when Elsa left the daycare room, accustomed as she was to their long days at home together, but after a short while she got used to the women there and the other children and quite enjoyed it. There were blocks to stack and letters of the alphabet to learn. Florence was too small to mind being passed around, only 3 months old, and cooed happily no matter who was looking after her. Though she loved her daughters enormously, Elsa never felt quite as free as she did the moment after dropping them off and walking out the door. Her arms nearly floated up away from her body, suddenly so unencumbered. That the services were free was the fresh whipped cream and berries on top. Elsa's favorite class was ballet, which was taught by a Frenchman named Guy, who wore all black with a scarf knotted tightly around his neck, the silk corners flapping against his collarbones as he demonstrated the movements. Elsa liked to be in the last row, near the corner, though the dance studio was lined with mirrors and there was no hiding from the teacher's critical eye. And left toe point, left toe slide, left toe point, left toe slide, Guy said, marching across the room with his eyes trained on one set of slim ankles after another. Elsa checked her work in the mirror. No, she was on the wrong side again. This is a simple rond de jambe, ladies, rond de jambe. Elsa quickly straightened her left leg and drew a circle on the lacquered wooden floor with her pointed toe. The other women in class never seemed to have any problem remembering their rights and lefts. I came out on a few different research trips. I took a couple of really little ones, and then my husband and I did a house swap for a month last summer where we did a lot of research. We did a lot of research on how to make guacamole and how to swim in a swimming pool. There were a lot of things. I mean, everything that is in here that is about the studio system is what I learned on those trips, because I knew nothing. I mean, I'd watched Singin' in the Rain. I had seen All About Eve. I'd seen Citizen Kane. I don't know. I mean, everything I knew was about movies was from movies, which is a good place to learn some things, but not a great place for actual facts and figures. Everything I learned everything in the book is what I learned on those trips. But of course, there were 1,000 details that I couldn't squeeze in. One of my favorite things that I learned, which was at Paramount, I think, was they have this giant parking lot. I mean, to people in Los Angeles, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's like to people in Los Angeles, this stuff doesn't even seem that cool and weird. But to a New Yorker, it seems really cool and weird to me. They have this gigantic parking lot that's painted blue, and it's pitched. And when they need to, they take all the cars out and they fill it with water, and it looks like the ocean. I mean, everybody who's from LA is like, yeah. So I didn't know that. There were a lot of things like that I'd learned where I was just like, taking notes furiously next to like these Italian tourists who are really only excited about seeing the people from Glee walk by.
Well, I was really looking forward to getting back to writing a novel after my collection, because I always thought of myself as a novelist, even though, as we've discussed, my previous novels did not go over very well. I still, on the inside, felt like I was a novelist. And so I really was ready for that, and I was ready to try to write something ambitious and big, and I guess it was a formal challenge, but it was one that I was really excited to take on. I wasn't scared of it. I wasn't scared of writing a novel. I think writing a novel is like anything else. You have to set aside time to do it. And for me, at least, I have to be really organized and sort of diligent about my time, and just I think about how many pages I want to get done in a week, and that's how many pages I write.